Hi everybody, welcome back to Red Hot Literature. Although I said hot pepper literature before, but I'm thinking of changing it to Red Hot Literature right now because we've already pretty much established and everybody's aware of another video log which has to deal with gaming and easy enough to figure out. So I didn't want to actually take over and try to say I'm similar to them or whatever, or I'm endorsed by them. No big deal. So I'm thinking right now Red Hot Literature will work. Anyways, we're coming back to Lord of the Rings. And if you joined me in the last review, you saw me make it about one page. And reading this book, it says it's 1,069 pages, which at that rate would take me about 3 years. Because right now, it's been about a week since I took my last video. So I've got to ante it up a bit and read a little bit more and go from there. So we'll try to speed things along in our adventures through Tolkien. And tonight I've actually got to swap things around because I already did it with Sapporo pepper, and not a whole lot of my other peppers are ripe for the picking yet. I've decided to go with 3 peppers tonight. The first one I'm going with is a mulatto isleno pepper, which is supposedly a mildish, hot kind of poblano pepper. And I'll start with that, and I'm going to build an increase from there. These are also apparently very popular with making chili rellenos, which is a good sized pepper. So it'll take me a few bites. I'll read through. So then I'm going to build up to this one, which is a monster jalapeno, which has started to ripen. I've got a little shades of orange here. I do have some veining here, which, you know, veining will definitely show that there's some heat to it. So I'm going to do that. And finally, the Peter pepper. If you got to know what the Peter pepper is all about, well, it's the name come from its apparent shape, which, if you look, is kind of phallic. Well, that's definitely why. And I don't know anything about the heat level yet, but, you know, hey, I'm going to give it a shot. Anyways, so I don't know how it's going to progress along. I've gone ahead and I picked these before they've turned red because that's what's available. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with where we left off at the end of page 1 on chapter 1 for a long expected journey. So up to this point we've just established the birthday party and Bilbo and Frodo's birthday. So I'm going to start and I'm going to build up and we'll see how far I get, and obviously it'll be more than one page, but we'll see where I start losing it here, alright? Here we go. 12 more years had passed. Each year the Bagginses had given very lively combined birthday parties at Bag End. But now it was understood that something quite exceptional was being planned for that autumn. Bilbo was going to be 111, or a rather curious number, and a very respectable age for a hobbit. The old Took himself had only reached 130, and Frodo was going to be 33, an important number, the date of his coming of age. Tongues began to wag in Hobbiton and Bywater, and rumor of the coming event traveled all over the Shire. The history and character of Mr. Bilbo Baggins had once again become the chief topic of conversation, and the older folks suddenly found their reminiscences in welcome demand. It actually is more like a sweet pepper, but I'm coming down to the seeds. No one had a more attentive audience than the old Ham Gamgee, commonly known as the Gaffer. He held forth at the Ivy Bush, a small inn on Bywater Road, and he spoke with some authority, for he had tended to garden at Bag End for 40 years and helped old Holman in the same job before that. Now that he was himself growing old and stiff in the joints, the job was mainly carried on by his youngest son, Sam Gamgee. Both father and son were on very friendly terms with Bilbo and Frodo, and they lived on the hill itself, in number 3 Bag Short Row, just below Bag End. Actually, there is a little bit of heat in here. It's not too bad. A very nice, well-spoken, gentle hobbit is Mr. Bilbo, which I've always said, the gaffer declared, with perfect truth. For Bilbo was very polite to him, and calling him Master Hemfest, and consulting him constantly upon the growing of vegetables in the matter of roots, especially potatoes. The gaffer was recognized as a leading authority in all the neighborhood, including himself. Actually, this membrane is building up a little bit of heat in here. So it's not too bad. It's not exactly mild, but it's interesting. Oh yeah, there's the heat. Okay. But what about this Frodo that lives with him? Asked Old Nooks of Bywater. Baggins is his name. Oh. But he's more than half Brandybug, they say. It beats me why any Baggins of Hobbits should go looking for a wife away there in Buckland, where folks are so queer. Okay, that's got a lot of heat to it. Oh, okay, I don't know if I can. Oh, man. And no wonder they're queer. Putting Daddy Two-Foot, the gaffer's next door neighbor, if they live on the wrong side of the Brandywine River and right again the old forest, that's a dark, bad place, if half the tales be true. Okay. Why is this taking me on? It's so difficult. Oh God. Yeah, it's not sitting with me tonight. It's building up. Yeah, these are actually quite spicy at the membrane. And no, yeah, you're right, Dad, said the gaffer. Not that the Brady Bucks of Buckland live in the old forest, but they've had they're a queer breed, seemingly. They fool about with boats in that bag river, and that isn't natural. Small wonder that trouble come of it, I say, but be that as it may, Mr. Frodo is a nice young hobbit as you could wish to meet. As nice a young hobbit as you could wish to meet. Very much like Mr. Bilbo, and in more than looks. After all, his father was a Baggins. A decent, respectable hobbit was Mr. Drogo Baggins. There was never much to tell of him until he was drowned. Drowned? Said several voices they heard in this and other dark rumors before. Of course, but hobbits have a family history, and they are ready to hear it again. So they say, said the gaffer. You see, Mr. Drogo, he married poor Miss Primula Brandybug. She was our Mr. Bilbo's first cousin on the mother's side, her mother being the youngest of Old Took's daughters, and Mr. Drogo was his second cousin. So for Mr. Frodo is his first and second cousin, once removed either way. As the saying is, if you follow me, and Mr. Drogo was staying at Brandy Hall with his father-in-law, old Master Gorboduc, I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that correctly, as he often did after his marriage, him being partial to his fiddles, the old Gorboduc keeping a mighty generous table, and he went out boating on the Brandywine River, and he and his wife were drowned, and poor Mr. Frodo, only child and all. Oh boy, I can't do this tonight. I was expecting it a little bit. This just heat is building up, like really building up. And unfortunately, I just burped it. Oh, that was terrible. Oh, hot pepper burps. Don't do it. I'm going to try to make this up to you guys tomorrow, if I possibly can. I don't know, man. It's sucking tonight. So, yeah, Milano Slano, it fools you. At first, it's just a a fleshy, tastes like a bell pepper. But if you get into these membranes and these seeds, it is going to be extremely hot. So, yeah, good pepper, and good night.